She walked into the hotel with quiet confidence, unaware that in just a few moments she would be humiliated, rejected, and forced to reveal a truth that would shake the entire staff to their core. Dressed in simple jeans and a modest blouse, Olivia stepped into the grand lobby of the lavish Skyview Hotel, taking in the chandeliers, marble floors, and polished mahogany front desk. The air smelled of expensive perfume and freshly brewed coffee. Guests strolled past her, some dressed in designer suits, others in flowing evening gowns. She smiled as she approached the reception desk. "Good evening. I'd like to book a room, please." The young receptionist, Hannah, barely looked up. She was busy admiring her freshly painted nails. When she finally lifted her gaze, she scanned Olivia from head to toe, her nose wrinkling slightly. "We're fully booked," she said flatly. Olivia tilted her head. "Are you sure?" "I checked online before coming. There were plenty of rooms available." Hannah sighed dramatically and gave a fake smile. "I meant to say, we don't have any rooms available for people like you." "People like you." Olivia's stomach tightened. She knew exactly what that meant. No designer handbag, no expensive jewelry, no wealthy husband standing beside her. Just an ordinary woman in an extraordinary place. A well-dressed man behind Olivia stepped forward, placing his platinum credit card on the counter. "I'd like the penthouse suite, please." Hannah's demeanor changed instantly. Her smile became genuine, her voice sweet as honey. "Of course, sir. Let me check our availability." Olivia took a deep breath, glancing at the hotel name embroidered behind the desk. Skyview Hotel. Her hotel. She had built this empire from the ground up, starting with a single small inn that she had turned into a 5-star luxury brand. And now, standing in the very place she had created, she was being dismissed as if she didn't belong. A quiet fire burned inside her. She wasn't angry. No, she was amused. She pulled out her phone and made a single call. "Prepare the boardroom," she said, her voice steady. "I need all managers present in 10 minutes." She hung up and turned back to Hannah, who was now handing the man his room key. Olivia smiled. "You're about to learn something very important," she said softly. Hannah rolled her eyes. "And what's that?" Olivia's smile didn't fade. "Who I really am." The moment Olivia uttered those words, Hannah let out a short, sarcastic laugh. "Oh, really? And who exactly are you?" she asked, crossing her arms. Olivia didn't answer. She simply took a step back, watching as the tension in the air thickened. Just then, the elevator doors at the far end of the lobby slid open, and a group of sharply dressed executives stepped out. Among them was Mr. Carter, the hotel's general manager. As soon as his eyes landed on Olivia, his face paled. "Ms. Kensington?" he stammered, hastily adjusting his tie. I wasn't expecting you today." Hannah blinked in confusion. "Ms. Kensington?" She turned back to Olivia, her smug expression faltering. "Wait, you—" Olivia smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "You're right. You weren't expecting me." She turned to Mr. Carter. "And, apparently, neither was your staff." The executives looked between Olivia and Hannah, realization dawning on their faces. Murmurs spread through the group. Some of them had only seen Olivia in corporate meetings or on magazine covers. The fact that she was standing here, in their lobby, dressed casually and being disrespected by one of their own, was beyond humiliating. Mr. Carter's forehead glistened with sweat. This is just a misunderstanding." Olivia folded her arms. "A misunderstanding? Your receptionist looked at me, judged me, and turned me away because she assumed I wasn't the right kind of guest. Does that sound like a misunderstanding to you?" Hannah's lips parted, but no words came out. She was frozen, her mind racing. "I want to see how many other guests have been treated this way," Olivia continued, "and I want to know why my hotel, the one I built from nothing, is allowing this kind of behavior under my roof." The entire lobby had gone silent. Guests whispered to each other, some pulling out their phones, recording the scene. Mr. Carter gulped. "Ms. Kensington, I assure you, save it." Olivia's voice was cool but sharp. She turned to Hannah. "You asked me who I am?" She leaned in slightly. "I own this hotel, and if I were you, I'd start worrying about what happens next." Hannah turned ghostly pale. The reality of the situation crashed down on her like a tidal wave. Hannah's hands trembled as she looked at Olivia. The confidence she had just moments ago had completely vanished. "Ms. Kensington, I didn't know." Her voice was barely above a whisper. Olivia tilted her head. "And would it have made a difference?" she asked. "Would you have treated me with more respect if you had known I was the owner?" Hannah's mouth opened, but no words came out. Mr. Carter stepped in quickly. "Ms. Kensington, please allow me to—" Olivia held up a hand, stopping him mid-sentence. "I'll be handling this personally." She turned back to Hannah. "Effective immediately. You're relieved of your duties." The color drained from Hannah's face. What? Please, Ms. Kensington. It was a mistake. I don't tolerate disrespect towards anyone in my establishment," Olivia said firmly. "Whether they're rich, poor, well-dressed, or not. If you can't see people as people, you don't belong here." Hannah's eyes darted around the lobby, searching for support. But all she found were disapproving stares. Even her co-workers had stepped back, unwilling to get involved. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Please, I need this job," she pleaded. For a moment, Olivia simply watched her, then sighed. "Everyone needs a job, Hannah. Everyone is struggling with something. Maybe this will teach you not to judge people so quickly." Mr. Carter stepped forward again, this time without hesitation. "I'll have security escort you out," he said firmly. 2 security guards approached, and Hannah, realizing there was no saving herself, lowered her head in shame as she was led away. Olivia turned to the stunned employees behind the reception desk. "Let this be a lesson. The way you treat people matters, and from now on, I'll be watching very closely." The receptionists nodded quickly, fear flashing in their eyes. Just then, a well-dressed man stepped forward from the crowd. He had been quietly observing everything unfold. "That was impressive," he said with a smirk. Olivia turned to him, raising an eyebrow. "And you are?" He extended a hand. "Daniel Carter, Chief Executive Officer of Carter Enterprises. I happened to be here for a meeting, but I have to say, watching you handle that situation was far more interesting." Olivia shook his hand, her expression unreadable. "I don't do it for entertainment." "I know," Daniel said, his smirk softening into a genuine smile. "That's what makes it even more impressive." For the first time that day, Olivia felt a small smile tug at her lips. Maybe this day hadn't been such a disaster after all.